Florida, the Sunshine State, is defined by a potent and paradoxical duality. To the world, it projects an image of serene beaches, leisurely retirement and thrilling theme parks, a haven of escape and ease. Yet, for the millions who reside within its borders, daily life is increasingly dominated by a starkly different reality: the grinding, omnipresent stress of its traffic crisis. Beyond a mere inconvenience, Florida's congested roadways have become a defining feature of its modern identity, a complex problem rooted in explosive growth, geographic constraints, and a historical reliance on automotive infrastructure that is now buckling under its own weight. The state's traffic is not just a symptom of success, but a fundamental challenge to its economic future, environmental health, and the very quality of life that attracts people to its shores. The scale of the congestion is both immense and inescapable, impacting every major metropolitan corridor. In southeast Florida, the daily rhythm is set by the sclerotic pulse of I-95 and the Palmetto Expressway, SR 826, where rush hour metastasizes into a half-day ordeal of bumper-to-bumper stagnation. Central Florida's I-4, the artery connecting Tampa, Orlando, and Daytona Beach, is perennially ranked among the nation's most dangerous and congested highways, a chaotic gauntlet of commuters, semi-trucks servicing the state's logistics hubs, and confused tourists in Tampa Bay. The critical bridges and causeways like Howard Frankland become linear parking lots, while in burgeoning regions like Jacksonville, Southwest Florida, and the Space Coast, two-lane roads engineered for a pastoral past are overwhelmed by the ceaseless flow of suburban sprawl. This congestion is amplified by Florida's status as a peninsula with limited north-south routes. An accident on I-95 or the Florida Turnpike can paralyze the entire eastern seaboard, with no viable parallel alternative for diversion. The origins of this gridlock are multifaceted, a perfect storm of demographic, economic, and planning forces. Foremost is the state's relentless population growth, a tidal wave adding hundreds of thousands of new residents annually for decades. Each new household typically brings multiple vehicles, a direct and linear addition to traffic volume. This permanent resident base is then seasonally inflated by a massive influx of over 130 million tourists per year, the majority of whom rent cars. The tourism economy, while invaluable, effectively doubles the population pressure on key corridors like the I-4 theme park belt or coastal routes like a 1A. Furthermore, Florida's development pattern for generations has been characterized by low density, car-dependent sprawl. Housing, employment centers, and commercial zones are rigorously segregated, mandating long vehicle trips for even basic errands. This is compounded by a pronounced lack of robust, regional public transportation alternatives. Outside the limited systems of South Florida, Metrorail, Tri-Rail, and nascent projects like Orlando's Sunrail, viable mass transit is largely absent, ensuring that nearly every new body in the state translates directly to another car on the road. The consequences of this unyielding traffic extend far beyond frayed tempers and wasted time. The economic toll is colossal, measured in billions of lost productivity, inflated costs for goods transported by truck, and increased fuel consumption. The environmental impact is severe. Stop-and-go traffic drastically increases emissions per mile, contributing to air quality issues and undermining climate resilience efforts in a state acutely vulnerable to sea level rise. Most tragically, the congestion correlates with a horrifying safety record. Florida's roads are consistently among the deadliest in the United States. The volatile mix of high speeds, sudden stops, aggressive driving, frequent lane changes, and a high proportion of elderly drivers and unfamiliar tourists creates a petri dish for catastrophic accidents. Each crash in turn triggers cascading delays, creating a vicious, self-perpetuating cycle of danger and delay. Addressing a crisis of this magnitude requires moving beyond the simplistic and historically favored solution of simply adding more asphalt. The phenomenon of induced demand has proven that widening highways often attracts more drivers, filling the new lanes within years and sometimes worsening congestion in the long run. Recognizing this, Florida is cautiously exploring a more diversified strategy. Major projects like the ongoing multi-billion-dollar transformation of I-4 in Orlando, I-4 Ultimate, incorporate managed toll lanes, Lexus lanes, designed to provide a reliably faster option for a price. Though this raises significant equity concerns. The successful launch and expansion of Brightline, a privately operated higher-speed intercity rail connecting Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach, and now Orlando, represents a genuine paradigm shift, offering a competitive alternative to the car for specific trips. At the municipal level, cities are slowly embracing smarter land use policies to foster mixed use. Walkable communities that reduce trip distances, while investments in improved bus rapid transit and last-mile connectivity solutions, like scooters and bike share, are incrementally expanding the mobility portfolio. Ultimately, Florida's traffic nightmare is the physical manifestation of its greatest challenges and contradictions. It is the price of phenomenal popularity, the legacy of short-sighted planning, and the arena where its future sustainability will be decided. The path forward demands a difficult but necessary cultural and political shift, a move away from prioritizing the unimpeded movement of vehicles and toward the efficient movement of people. This will require sustained investment in multimodal transit, courageous zoning reforms that allow people to live closer to where they work and play, and the integration of smart technology to optimize flow. Until such a comprehensive approach is fully embraced and funded, the promise of Florida life will remain tempered by the daily reality of its gridlocked roads, a vivid reminder that even in paradise, progress can be brought to a complete and frustrating standstill. Thank you for watching.